So the sample went
Oh,
into a
okay.
special glove box
Yep.
that was purged with nitrogen so we could keep it pure while we were disassembling everything. And one of the ways to limit the kinds of contamination you could have in the sample is to restrict the number of things and the kinds of things that could be in the glove box. I mean, you can't get contaminated by something that isn't allowed to be there. And so we had made a conscious decision that we would only allow a certain list of materials to be inside the glove box. And one of the things we didn't want to have is 18 different kinds of steel and aluminum in there, all of which could potentially contaminate us. So we made special tools out of a limited set of metals for things like the screwdrivers that remove the screws. And so normally when you use a screwdriver in your garage, you're using something that's got is made of steel, which is designed to be very, very hard and to be able to handle any screw. And so if you have problems with screws, it's usually because you stripped the screw head, not because you wrecked the screwdriver.
Right. Yes.
And but we made screwdrivers out of a limited list of metals and discovered that some of the screws had gotten tight enough, either from during their installation or just from flight over time. Metals do vacuum weld, for example, with each other. That the screws were set in there hard enough that when we tried to use the screwdrivers we specially had built, that the screwdrivers themselves were the things that were starting to bend, not the screws. And in either event, we wouldn't want either one to be deformed because that would have the potential of getting little bits of that metal out as a contaminant. Right. So we got most of the screws off. We got down to the last two and found out that every screwdriver we were trying to use was starting to deform. And so we thought we'd got to stop. Otherwise, we could contaminate the sample with screwdriver. And so that required we back up and think about our materials again, find another material that we decided was acceptable to be introduced into the glove box and get screwdrivers made out of.
I see.
That material, that harder material. And then once we had that, then of course we needed to practice it on engineering models to make sure it would all work. We're not going to go test out a new idea on the actual sample container. And then once all that testing was successfully done, then we could go back and do it. So this took some time and the development of some replacement tools, but it worked.